Jazz hands. Don't mind me. I'm just entertaining myself until a few folks are able to log on. I've got hot tea and cold tea today. So as always, we will just give it a few minutes here for folks to join us. Oops, I didn't mean to put that up. Okay. Okay, we've got a couple of people. Please say hello in the chat box and let us know where you're streaming in from today. Don't be shy. Come on now. Don't be shy. Knock, knock. Who's there? Evidently cold weather. Okay. Well, I'm going to have one more sip of tea. And I'm going to just jump right in. And so for those of you who are joining in, just let us know where you're coming from, where you're streaming in from today. It is a cold day here in the great state of Texas. And we've got some ice and a little bit of snow. So it's, and now for something completely different in the state of Texas. So, alrighty, we'll jump right in and get started. I am Reverend Ann Tabor, and welcome to the 65th episode of Put a Myrtle on It. Put a Myrtle on It. The place to be for a little myrtle, a little prayer, and a little song. Just a little song. Now, if you are not all that familiar with Unity and our Unity movement, I'm going to take just a few moments to share some of the highlights with you. Unity was founded by Myrtle Fillmore and her husband, Charles Fillmore, and they co-founded Unity back in the late 1800s. This movement is very much based in affirmative prayer. We practice affirmative prayer. And over time, since the late 1800s, two of the really big highlights are Silent Unity, which is one of the longest running telephone prayer ministries in the world. And so I want to share with you today, I've been sharing this the last couple of weeks, a wonderful little thing that I got from unity.org. You can go to the shop there, and it's a Silent Unity lamp. Oh my gosh, this is so awesome. And it will change colors. I hope you can see that, right? It changes colors. And what is written is the prayer for protection, which was, of course, crafted by James Dillett Freeman, a Unity minister. He was the director of Silent Unity for many years and also a poet laureate. Now, this is the prayer for protection. If you're not familiar with it, I'm going to read it to you. And if you are, you may want to just read along. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Period. Right? Now, often we will say, and so it is, amen. But really, it's God is. That's it. Right? So you too may want to check out these wonderful little prayer for protection lamps. I'm going to put this back on my table here. Ta-da! Isn't that wonderful? Hi, Greg and Bonnie, still in Southern California. Oh my goodness. I'm quite certain it's warmer there today than it is in Texas. We had a couple 100,000 people without electricity yesterday. Now, some people will say we lost power. I don't choose to phrase it that way because we always have the power within us, right? As God. But quite a few folks without electricity. So we just bless all those first responders that are working on that and envisioning everybody getting exactly what they need as quickly as possible with ease and grace. Amen. Amen. Oh, it's 44. Well, now for California, that can be pretty chilly, having lived there for a number of years. And hello to Keith and Marie. Mwah! As always, I'm so grateful to have you here, my personal heroes. Okay, now, so I talked about silent unity. Another highlight for the unity movement, of course, is the Daily Word magazine. And if you don't have this, I really encourage you to get a subscription. I get the large print because it's very helpful. But this is just a wonderful daily devotional. And I, like many others, feel like every day it was written just for me in my life, right? And you probably will feel the same way. Okay, so Daily Word, of course, is read by millions of people from all walks of life, from all different faiths. So you certainly don't have to be in unity to subscribe to the Daily Word. And the same is true for Silent Unity. If you've never called for prayer with Silent Unity, I really encourage you to do that today. They would be happy to pray with you, whether it's a request or even a celebration. Now, if you would like, you can also place a prayer request in our chat box over here. I am certainly honored to hold any request or celebration you have in prayer, and I will also pass that along to our prayer chaplains at Unity of Arlington. Hello there, my Catherine Ann Smith. Hi, Phyllis. Okay, you're coming from Chicago today. Well, I'm guessing that our low of 19 is probably nothing for you guys right now. And David Hart, all the way on the other side of the house. Greg, yeah, okay, you'll hit 59. Yeah. Now, I don't know if I've ever shared this with you, but when we lived in California, when we first moved there, I would see people in their puffy jackets, right? Their puffer jackets with flip-flops on. And it would I just had to giggle. I just thought that was so silly. But by the time we left California, some 12 years later, I was that person. So, we have to remember to have humor about ourselves. Okay, moving right along. So I am a Unity minister, licensed, ordained. I have a Master of Divinity. And one of the reasons that I fell in love with Unity and I wanted to become I answered my call to be a Unity minister is because I fell in love with Myrtle Fillmore and I fell in love with her teachings. I believe that they are as relevant today as they were the day that she wrote some of these. And I know that they work because they changed my life for the better, and they will do the same for you if you are willing and open and receptive to applying them to your life. You have to practice. Yes, you have to practice. And so what better time than right now, as we are continuing to grow through this pandemic together, to explore some of Myrtle's teachings. Every Friday until otherwise notified, we're going to come together here at 12 noon Central Time to do just that. And so just one more little thing. This is not magical thinking. It is not. As I said, you have to be willing and receptive and open to taking in these teachings and then actually practicing them. Now, today I am going to be sharing, and this, let me just tell you, this is some good stuff here today. This is coming from Myrtle's book, How to Let God Help You. So speaking of allowing, the art of allowing and being open and receptive, we have to let God, right? Let God, let go and let God into your awareness, of how you can unfold at an even greater capacity. Okay, here we go. Today, I'm going to be sharing from chapter 15. So if you have this, you're welcome to read along with me. We're going to start with chapter 15, which is titled The Secret Place of Spirit. The Secret Place of Spirit. We're going to start on page 88. At the very tip top, the first sentence. We are on the threshold of a new heaven and a new earth, a new consciousness. Now, I don't know if you remember, there was a book, and I actually haven't read it, but there was a wonderful, successful book written by Eckhart Tolle called A New Earth. You may be familiar with that. But here's Mother Myrtle, way back, way before Eckhart Tolle wrote his book titled A New Earth. Here she is saying, we are on the threshold of a new heaven, because heaven is where? Heaven is a state of consciousness. We're on the threshold of a new heaven and a new earth, thank goodness, a new consciousness. She goes on to say, we are turning from the world of the outer and are coming into the wonderful place, which is called the secret place of the Most High. Jesus the Christ called this place the inner chamber. He said, when thou prayest, enter into the inner chamber, and having shut thy door, pray to thy Father who is in secret. And of course, what she's encouraging us to do is to turn within, because that's where all of the answers are. And just to make note that it's not necessary to pray aloud, for the sake of praying aloud, and to do that in a flowery way, or a way in which, and I'm sure you've seen some of this, where it kind of seems like folks are, praying a certain way for attention, right? But Myrtle is just reminding us that the secret place of the Most High is within us all. She goes on to say, now I'm at the bottom here, let us take this affirmation to help us realize the Christ consciousness. So if you were looking for something today for contemplative meditation, which is simply, taking a teaching, taking an affirmation and really contemplating it, here it is. She's giving us this little wonderful affirmation today. She says, God's perfect idea in me is now building a perfect body, and I am satisfied. I'm going to read that again. God's perfect idea in me is now building a perfect body, and I am satisfied. She says, as the little germ in the seed brings forth its kind, so in each human being is put the divine image and likeness, the potentiality of bringing forth perfection in mind, body, and affairs. Now, I want to just focus for a minute on this. The germ in the seed brings forth its kind. Of course, we say thoughts in mind, bring forth after its kind. And what she's talking about here is that, yes, the seed does bring forth after its kind. If you plant, a rose bush, if you plant a rose seed, what is going to demonstrate, of course, is going to be a rose. But what matters most is the conditions in which the soil, how it's nurtured. That is what also has a lot to do with how that seed is activated, right? Yes, it's going to bring forth a rose, but it will be a unique rose. It will be an unrepeatable rose. So I want you to really, really take that in. So of course, a seed is going to bring forth its kind, right? But it's all about the conditions in which that is happening. And what we're going to get to here is we learn that turning within to the secret place of the Most High, that is a condition, my dear ones. That is creating the condition so that you can listen to that inner voice, that God voice that is calling you forth to your highest potential, to your unique expression. Are you with me? I hope you guys are with me. Okay, here we go. She says, Jesus the Christ is our example of perfection. He was the first to teach of the new birth, the new growth of mankind. Okay, now I'm on page 89, about the middle of the page. Myrtle says, the silence is a kind of stillness, a place of retreat into which we may enter, and having entered, we may know the truth. We go into the silence by observing the instructions, be still and know. Be still and know. That's another great idea just for a very straightforward contemplative meditation. Take in that teaching, be still and know. Because here's the thing, what you're looking for, you are looking with. What you're looking for, you're looking with. The only way really to know is to become perfectly still, to get away from the outer and from looking for things into the inner quiet where we are alone with wisdom. In the silence, wisdom is given for every need. In the silence, wisdom is given for every need. And you know what, another way of saying this is there is a spiritual solution for every problem. There's a spiritual solution for every problem. And so we create these conditions by being willing, by being open, by being receptive, by having the discipline to sit your patootie down and to practice meditation. Okay, moving on now to page 91, middle of the page. She says, when we recognize the one presence, we eliminate the many presences. One of our greatest scientists says that he never found God until he found him in his laboratory. He says that he looked upon the world and saw many different things that were called God, many different powers that were called God, but he himself did not find God. However, in the laboratory, many things that he tested in his crucible went into the invisible. He had a name for this invisible product. He called it the ether. He found that ether has intelligence and power, and that the different forms in nature are the garments with which God clothes himself. Now, of course, there's no pronoun necessary here, but I love this. One of our greatest scientists. Now, I presume that Myrtle is referring to Albert Einstein. I presume she's referring to Albert Einstein, who, of course, was born in 1879 and then made his transition in 1955. Albert Einstein, who considered himself an agnostic, not an atheist, but an agnostic, because he felt like, he couldn't commit to whether science could prove or not prove the existence of God. He did not believe in an afterlife, right? For Einstein, he said one life was enough. And yet, when he looked at the ethers and what was happening from the invisible to the visible, that's something that he could believe in, right? And so can you, by the way. I mean, this is why there are many names for God. There are many names for God. And, somewhat unfortunately, of course, over the years, we have attached human qualities to the idea of God, that God is a white man sitting up on a cloud, like a puppeteer. But in truth, God is a presence. And what she's referring to here, and again, I'm just presuming that it's Einstein, is that there's this invisible substance behind all things, a divine intelligence. And that's why divine intelligence is one name for God. So isn't that just fascinating? I love it. Okay, so now I'm going to, where am I going? Where am I going? Okay, I'm going to the bottom of page 91. Myrtle says, we are learning the law by which we bring forth from invisible substance. We like to think that we can deal with it as God dealt with it. We bring it forth according to our thoughts, right? What you focus on is what expands, making of it different forms and shapes, making our worlds according to our ideas. But the great pattern which God gave is unchanged. It is revealed to us through Jesus the Christ. We are to work by that pattern, that divine pattern of perfection that is uniquely in you and only you, that's me, not Myrtle, to bring forth the life idea that Jesus the Christ brought forth. We may feel confused by the manifold activities in the world, yet there is only one impulse, one substance in back of all. When we get so still that the one becomes visible to us, then we see our own Christ within. Truly, we know that there is only one power, one presence, one wisdom. Now, if you're willing to take this idea in, there is really only one. There's only one. We are all connected, right? Now, what she's telling us here is, again, this is the blueprint. This is Jesus the Christ blueprint. And what I really want you to take away today is the idea that you, Boo, you are the God seed. You are a God seed. And you are going to unfold to your highest potential. And so what you want to do is be about the business of creating the conditions in which you can activate that, right? So you must pay attention to the soil that you yourself are growing in. And one of the greatest ways that you can do that is by meditating, your prayer and meditation practice. Amen. Can I get an amen? Alrighty, so that is the word today from our Mother Myrtle. This is the theory, and now we are going to take it into practice. Just as soon as I have another sip of tea. I want to say welcome also to anyone where we are live streaming through Daily Fillmore today, and we're always grateful for that. We're, of course, live streaming through our Unity of Arlington Facebook page as well. And so, okay, moving right along now, I want to encourage you to create the condition in which you are going to allow this unfoldment, your highest potential, your unique and unrepeatable divine design. Right? So we're going to take this into our practice of prayer and meditation. And I invite you to give yourself permission right here, right now, in the middle of this beautiful Friday, or whenever you're watching, give yourself permission to be here now. And I invite you to allow my words to be your words. And I do this because as we go through this guided meditation, I want you to be present from the perspective of I am. Another great contemplative phrase to take into meditation, to just simply meditate on I am. I am that I am. And so let's begin there. Let us turn within. Let's take just a couple of very easy breaths. I'm just going to simply breathe in and out. ever so gently, ever so easily. Just remembering the breath, grateful for my breath. I am. I am that I am. I am. I am that I am. And so I enter into this time of prayer and meditation, knowing that all I have to do is to just simply be still and know. To be still and know that I am God. I am that I am. I'm not all of God, but I'm a little spark of that divinity. I'm a God seed. And I am willing to grow into my best and highest good, my highest potential. I am that I am. And so I allow my thoughts and my words, I allow my actions of this day, my deeds in this day, to align with my true nature, my love nature, my God nature. I am that I am. And I am willing to be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. And so I take just a moment to allow this idea, God's perfect idea in me, to build a perfect body and to know that I am willing and I am receptive and I am open to what that looks like for me as I allow the invisible to become visible. And so I take just a moment and I scan my body temple from the top of my head to the tips of my toes. I love my body, and I know that my body loves me. I bless my body. I bless my body temple, and I know that my body blesses me. I bless my mind. I bless my consciousness, my new heaven, my new earth, my new consciousness, and how I look at things, both inner and outer. I bless my face, my eyes, my nose, my lips, the power of my tongue. I choose to speak words of life. I bless my ears and what I tune into. I bless my throat, my voice. I bless my arms, my hands, my feet, my very breath, knowing that I am that I am the presence of God. I bless my heart, this beautiful heart chakra, the amazing ways in which it works and allows my body to function. I bless my lungs, my entire breathing capacity. I bless my internal functions, my nervous system, all of my organs. I bless my gallbladder, my liver, my kidneys, my pancreas, my colon. I bless my back, my spine, my entire pelvic region. I bless my thighs, my knees, my calves, my ankles, my feet, and my toes. And as I am able, I lift my feet ever so gently off the floor, and I circle my ankles in one direction. And now I circle them in the opposite direction. Place them back on the floor. And in this moment, I am so grateful for my awareness of circulation. That truly I am never stuck or stagnant. I am in charge of all the circulation in my life, in what I give and what I receive. I am always open to receive goodness, my best and highest good, always affirming my ever greater good. That is the order of my circulation. And so once again, I simply scan my body from the top of my head to the tips of my toes. I bless my body. And I know that my body blesses me. And I am so grateful for this knowing. And so for just a moment now, I'm going to tune into any messages that my body wants me to hear. It could be a particular area of my body. It could be something about my lifestyle. It could be about something that's upcoming. But I just tune in and I listen to what my body wants me to hear. Could be something about rest, could be something about work, could be something about diet, nutrition, could be something about play. But I truly tune in and listen to what my body wants me to hear. And now I make a shift. I make a shift in energy and I tune into all of these areas of my life and of my body temple that are radiating and glowing with well-being, radiating and glowing with well-being. And so I take this joy with me right now into just a few moments of inner quiet as we enter into a moment of quietude, as we choose to create the condition to enter into the secret place of the Most High, where we just relax into the experience of God right here, right now, in the silence. I am. I am that I am. I am willing to be still and know that I am the very presence of God. I am one with God, and God is one with me. I am never not connected in oneness. I am that I am. I am that I am. God's perfect idea in me is now building a perfect body for me, for my highest potential, for my unique demonstration, for my unrepeatable presence, the divine pattern of perfection that is uniquely in me. And I am so grateful, eternally and infinitely grateful for this knowing. And so I take with me for the rest of my day this joy, this enthusiasm. I know that I am the living, breathing presence of God. And with that comes with me the power of grace from morning to night, the power of grace. And so it is. Amen. And so it is. Amen. Hi, Phyllis. You can go to unity.org and go into the bookstore or shop. They've just recently revised the website, but you can find how to let God help you there. And you can probably find it on Amazon. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I know that Unity has it, of course, by Myrtle Fillmore. Myrtle Fillmore. Hi, Penny. Nice to see you here today. Yes. Okay. So we've had a little Myrtle, of course, right? And we've had a little prayer. And now we're going to have a little song. Now, if you are new to this song, do not fret because it's so easy. You're going to just join right in. We're going to sing this 3 times. Here we go. From the top of my head to the tips of my toes, I'm healthy and whole in mind, body, and soul. From the top of my head to the tips of my toes, I'm healthy and whole in mind, body, and soul. From the top of my head to the tips of my toes, I'm healthy and whole in mind, body, and soul. From the top of my head to the tips of my toes, I'm healthy and whole in mind, body, and soul. From the top of my head to the tips of my toes, I'm healthy and whole in mind, body, and soul. From the top of my head to the tips of my toes, I'm healthy and whole in mind, body, and soul. Mind, body, and soul. Mind, body, and soul. That is how you put a myrtle on it. That's how you put a myrtle on it. Yes, indeedy. So I want to thank you so much for being here with us today in our virtual space. Greg and Bonnie from California, Phyllis, welcome from Chicago, and of course all of our beloved ones here in Texas. And we're just grateful to be able to have this time together and explore more of Myrtle Fillmore. Now, if you would like to share your spirit of generosity, we are open to receive. And all of those ways that you can do that are posted with this live stream. You can go to unityofarlington.org and click on the donate button. You can find us on the Tithely app. We use that as our text to give. And of course, you can always mail in a contribution. We're so very, very grateful. We are so blessed, truly. Okay, this Sunday, I want to invite you to join us at 11 a.m. Central Time on our Facebook page, or Unity of Arlington Facebook page, or our YouTube channel for Practice, Practice, Practice. Now, this is the fifth and final in my series, Unity in a Nutshell. So we will be looking at our fifth principle, that it's not enough to simply know these truths. We have to actually practice them and take them out into the world. So, oh my gosh, this is going to be great. It's they're all my favorite principles. We know that's true, right? But you will enjoy this one, I promise you. So we look forward to seeing you on Sunday, 11 a.m. Central Time. Okay, with that, that's all for today. I love you. I really do. Until next time, peace and blessings. Mwah.